Across America, parents are outraged seeing their children forced to learn the Hate Whitey program called critical race theory. Here's the worst part. You're all forced to fund this racism. But CRT isn't only infecting government-run schools. Reports indicate it's infecting the military, too. Joining me now to discuss is retired U.S. Army veteran, PACEM Solutions CEO and founder and Newsmax columnist, Cory Mills. Mr. Mills, always great to see you. This is something that's not talked a lot about right now. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton recently introduced legislation to fully ban critical race theory from the military, saying there's no place in America's military for teaching racism against any skin color. Now, we here on this show, we've been hearing from active duty and reserve folks who say this is cancerous, sowing divisions among our military folks. What have you heard?
Well, again, I have to agree with Senator Cotton. Again, when I served the United States military and I was part of a Joint Special Operations Command, we didn't look at what color, what state, or what actual political affiliation you had. We were all brothers to the left and right, and we all served the same purpose, and that was to bring each other home. So this idea that, this critical race theory, or the idea that racism is so prevalent in the military, I just didn't see it. And it's funny that a lot of the people who are actually trying to push this are people who never served a single day in uniform. So again, this to me seems like it's political rhetoric utilized to divide the nation, as they continue to do, utilizing race baiting and other things to try and get votes. And again, politics has no business in the U.S. military.
Now, staying with our military and the National Guard in particular, in California, a new report says, and we just had Congressman Tom McClintock on, saying that he would be very careful with this, but the reporting out there says that back in March of 2020, the state's National Guard awaited orders from their headquarters in Sacramento to make preparations for protests related to the China virus pandemic lockdowns. And that Governor Gavin Newsom, socialist Democrat out there, reportedly placed an F-15C fighter jet on alert status for a possible domestic mission to quell protests against his draconian orders. If true, and I have to premise this, if true, this is chilling.
Well, absolutely. I mean, again, the despotism of states like California, where they want this totalitarian authority, we see this left and right. That's why the new census that came out, added seats to places like Texas and Florida, because people are trying to escape that totalitarian authoritarian government of Newsom and Cuomo and all the rest. Look, when I was overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there was large explosions where we'd have a team hit with an IED, we used to utilize little birds and others to go ahead and hover in low to try and disperse the groups. But that was overseas in a war and conflict zone, not to be utilized against American citizens. So again, if this is found to be true, it's exceptionally disturbing.
Want to get your reaction to a story unfolding about Biden's current climate witch doctor and former Secretary of State under the Biden administration, the Obama-Biden administration, John Kerry. He's alleged to have revealed secrets entrusted to the United States by Israel. Kerry leaked to the #1 state sponsor of terrorism, Iran. Again, chilling here too, right?
Absolutely. Again, we know Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror. We know they continue to fund their proxy militias. And again, that was supported heavily by Resolution 2231, the JCPOA, the brainchild of under the current, Secretary of State and the Obama 1.0. We're now in the Obama 2.0 era. But again, whenever Secretary Kerry says, oh, I didn't do this, or this is completely false, it makes me go back to the time when all the Swift boat vets came forward and also disproved one of his discussions and one of his things there. So John Kerry doesn't exactly have the best record when it comes to integrity.
Yeah, and telling the truth. I want to switch gears. You tweeted about the border, quote, I'm calling on Joe Biden to declare a national emergency on our southern border now. Out of all the crises Biden has created on the border, which one worries you the most?
Well, certainly this one worries me the most. I mean, we just caught 2 Yemeni men trying to cross the border who was on the terrorist watch list. We know that there's human rights violations going on. Representative Kat Kamek just talked about a 9-year-old girl who had lost her voice because she was being gang raped by the cartels as forms of payment. We see the drugs that are coming into communities like here in Florida who are destroying the communities, destroying the nuclear family. And we certainly are seeing where taxpayer money, $87 million going towards hotels, $352 a day for 81,000 migrants while our National Guard sleeps in a parking garage. Again, this America Last agenda, this idea that they're going to bring in millions from the borders so they can go ahead and do a pathway to citizenship expedited or no voter ID to go ahead and cancel out the American voice. This is a national security issue on many levels, and this is an emergency that needs to be dealt with immediately.
By the way, I noticed the shave, could that be because you had a meeting with the former president there at Mar-a-Lago? And what can you tell us about the meeting?
Well, first off, it was a gathering to try and support Senator Mo Brooks. He's a phenomenal guy. I was fortunate enough to be able to talk to the president about my congressional run here in the 7th District of Florida. It was great to be able to meet with the president who appointed me to the DOD as one of the advisors to one of the boards there. So to be able to thank him in person again, to be able to try and solicit some of his support for the run, and to, again, bring back an American First agenda. What's a better honor than the president looking at you and said, I know this guy.
Right on, right on. Cory Mills, thank you for the service to the country. Appreciate the time as always here on the Chris Salcedo Show.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.